So my name is Tyler Chaffee. I grew up in Denver, graduated from East High School. I actually graduated from the University of Denver on a scholarship, and this is where we had lunch after graduation, so Spanky's is always, I haven't been here in a long time, so I just go down memory lane here. But anyway, the reason I'm here is to talk about issues 3A and 3B, which have been referred to the Denver ballot by the Denver School Board. These issues are meant to address very real problems that DPS faces. And the first I'll point out is that graduate of East High School is a very beautiful high school. I feel very lucky to be a part of it, and we just had our 20-year reunion a couple of years ago. And I walk inside and it just looks a lot different than I remember it. I know the halls seem a little bit smaller. I mean, it was sweltering because it was like it was early August that we had and we're doing a tour and we're going up to the new tower. A lot of these schools are beautiful on the outside, but they need a lot of work on the inside. In fact, the average DPS building is now over 55 years old. And for a building of that size that is housing so many children, the learning environment really suffers. This is not something that 3A and 3B will completely solve, but it's going to do a great deal to invest in our learning environment to make sure that our kids are learning. The other issue that precipitated bringing 3A and 3B to the ballot was the fact that the state is just not funding education adequately. No offense, Senator Aguilar. I know that you're doing your best to make sure that the funding does come through, but the reality is that this is Doug Bruce's world, and we just live in it. Our tax code was written by a tax felon, and the problem with that is it is designed to squeeze and suffocate government. It is designed to bring up issues where people talk about debt and make aspirations or attacks about fiscal irresponsibility, and basically to force school districts, special districts, municipalities to go back to the voters time and again not to ask for more, not to invest in tremendous new programs, experimental programs. They have to go to voters to ask for the very basics that schools need in order to function. Basics from the security cameras, right on through to cooling systems, right on through to the programs and services that enable our children to contribute to the economy, to be citizens, to be a part of our society. And so that's what we're doing. DPS and 36 other districts around the state are all going to voters yet again to try and get this passed, to try and get some of these basic things solved for the school district. But we would love to see an answer on next year's ballot or down the road for the way the state funds education. But in lieu of that, because we can't count on that happening, we have to support 3A and 3B. And the reason I talk about both simultaneously is because there are a lot of aspects of the two that are wedded together. The first is early childhood education. There are kids who sit on waiting lists and are unable to access the full-day kindergarten that is available through some of the investment that's happened so far. These measures will not only provide the program dollars for early childhood education, they'll also provide the expanded facilities and seats to make sure that we can accommodate that growth. Not only does it provide technology so that our kids are ready for a 21st century. I mean, there was a debate that Mary Sewell, one of the school board members, had with Jessica Peck. Jessica Peckford. Does anybody know her from the Independence Institute? Well, she's one of the sort of Tabor Doug Bruce acolytes. And we talked about how, we would have more technology in the schools in Denver. And she sort of dismissed in sort of a let them eat cake mode, saying, well, those kids don't need iPads, they don't need technology. as somehow a district that serves 75% free and reduced lunch, that serves 73%, students of color, that it somehow can't have the same things that other school districts have to support a good education. So this provides not only the technology infrastructure, but it provides some of the funding for services, so subscriptions for academic curriculum. And please don't turn that on again. Thank you very much. And I think that those are some good pieces. So a lot of this goes to facilities maintenance. It goes to new school construction in some of the areas where we're having a population boom of students. We have one of the fastest growing districts, not just in the state, one of the fastest growing districts in the country. More parents are choosing Denver Public Schools to put their kids in. That's not something that DPS has been able to boast for a long time. Now, some of it's because of the recession and they can't afford to put their kids in private school anymore, but they wouldn't be putting their kids. I have 3 kids. I would not put my kids in a school district if I didn't feel that it was going to serve their educational needs. With that growth comes a responsibility, not just to us as voters. It comes to a responsibility for Denver as a whole to invest in that structure, to build on that academic achievement, and to make sure that we are preparing every child. And our new mayor, Michael Hancock, who has his own measure, which we completely support, that work together to build a better Denver. But his slogan, which I love, is a city for everyone, a great city for everyone. And that's why 3A and 3B are so important. Because if we can pass 3A and 3B, we can make these changes to invest in infrastructure, facilities maintenance, new school construction, some technology upgrades, cooling solutions in every single school, an ability to expand